Hello, and welcome to another segment of Vegan Lies. And in this segment, I'm going to be covering the history of veganism. I'm going to be talking about where it came from, some different sources of information, my opinions on it. I'm going to be sharing some things that I've seen interview-wise with other people and trying to debunk some of or critique some of what's being said in my own fashion. So first, we're going to cover the history of veganism. When was the term vegan coined? The term vegan was coined in 1944. There was a gentleman by the name of Donald Watson. He was the founder of the Vegan Society, and he's the one that created the term vegan. And basically what he did was he took parts of the beginning of the word vegetarian and the end of the word, took them together, and basically it was just the principle behind a meatless, animalless nutrition diet. I think it's first important to understand what the term vegan means. Vegan means excluding yourself from anything that has to do with animal products in general. Oftentimes, vegans drop the ball by using products around their household, driving vehicles, and using apparatuses every single day that use different types of animal products to make those products or derivatives of animal products, and they don't really pay attention to that type of stuff. Yet they call themselves true vegans. Well, a true vegan would exclude themselves from any form of using animal products at all for exploitation or anything like that. So some of the people that call themselves vegans online simply are not true vegans. They're just people that abstain from using animal products in their dietary use. A meatless diet used to be called a Pythagorean diet, and that was coined probably like mid 1800s, and basically what it meant was a meatless diet. And that's some of as early as different types of vegetarian veganism can be traced to the mid 1800s, and arguably even earlier than that. You often see a lot of vegans eating junk foods, but what they also don't realize is a lot of those same junk foods that they eat that don't have animal products in them are made from facilities that do use and make different types of animal products and use derivatives in other products that they make. And those same cookies and treats and things like that that vegans eat are made from those same facilities, which are contaminated with those animal products that they should so choose to be a true vegan would stay away from. You may often find that vegans will reference somebody all the way back to the Greek times. Pythagoras promoted the non-use of meat. It wasn't so much animal products in general, but you'll find different websites and stuff like that, vegans that say he was one of the earliest ones that promoted veganism, and that's simply not true. He just promoted a non-meat based diet, and that would include other types of animal foods such as eggs or cheese or something like that, but just meat in itself was the original way. But you'll have vegans that cherry pick what was done back then, and they will try to use it as, fuel for their fire, as to say this was as early as this date, when really most people won't dig in to see if they're telling the truth. But once you actually dig in to see if they're telling the truth, you often see that they're stretching it. They're making it what they want instead of actually telling the truth. It wasn't until circa 1949 when Donald Watson actually put a name to the very movement itself by talking to his wife and one of the early members of the society, by basically stating that they shouldn't call it vegetarian, they should call it Allvega, and that they should create a magazine to support their club called Allvegan. And that's kind of what the name was suggested by the wife and the friend. There were several things that were changed. It went from a non-charitable foundation to a charitable foundation, and then in 1988 it went exclusively as a written in stone definition of a philosophy and way of living which seeks to exclude, and as far as possible and practicable, all forms of exploitation of animals, clothing, animals. They went as far as saying all forms of exploitation and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose by the extension promotes the development and use of animal-free alternatives for benefit of humans. So anything that would be used in a daily living, household utensils, items that you use, shoes that you put on your feet, anything like that should come from no animal use at all. And there's probably less than 1% of the vegans that actually do something like that. Most vegans do not practice true veganism. They're kind of like fake vegans, if you will.